Hello and welcome to Remainders, where we talk about all the movies that remain. My name is Patrick. Today we're going to be talking about the 1996 directorial debut by one Steve Buscemi, Trees Lounge. Very excited for this one. Special movie to me, character study, plenty to discuss with Steve Buscemi playing one of his most, idyllic characters. I think he really became his own when he became this movie. Darren, how's it going, bud? Good to see you. Like the clean shaven face. I've missed that last time. I was watching a little bit of our videos and you were 100% clean shaven last time. And I took off quite a bit of my beard. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, I guess new year, new you, huh? It's like, I don't know. I'm probably going to grow the beard back, but, trying something else out. And I don't know. Sometimes
That's the story of my life.
Like when you shave, it's like, what the hell? I've had a beard for so long. But yeah, you look great. You got like a great fresh cut there, my man.
I waited until it got above -40 here in Chicago. And so it's a nice 15, 20 degrees lately. So it was a good time to cut it here. So,
well, I'll tell you the one thing about the wintertime in California is it's cold at night, but not during the day. It is like scorching hot outside right now. What has the temperatures been like in Chicago?
I mean, yeah, this week it's been around 20, but the sun's been out, so it kind of feels like spring to us, Chicago.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Sometimes February can get up to like 70 degrees in Chicago, which is funny. You never know, do you? You never know.
You know the chaos. Yeah.
Trees Lounge.
Weather aside, Trees Lounge, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about the movie that we are discussing today. First watch for me.
Hell yeah. I was so excited with you when we were texting about this because this is a legit special movie for me. I special ordered the DVD while we were working at Suncoast. And so it's been a long time that I've been watching this movie. Very big fan and excited to hear what you think. So
yeah, it's interesting because, I think it's kind of, we love Buscemi and I was trying to think, have we covered anything with Buscemi on? I don't think so. I think this may be the first movie we're actually talking about Steve Buscemi, which is kind of fun. Obviously, I love his work and always have. I love his connection with Jim Jarmusch, and also this movie has a lot of players in it that I wasn't expecting. But also,
I know. Yeah.
I think about Trees Lounge. It's like a few years also before Armageddon, which I think is the first movie I ever saw Steve Buscemi in. And he's such a.
Well, you would have seen Reservoir Dogs before. That was like 92.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah. God, that's so weird.
He's in Pulp Fiction. You're right. There is like a timeline that kind of skews with his career. Like for whatever
he's
reason.
Just becoming like he's in a blockbuster movie, and I guess we could talk. I haven't seen it in a while, but Airheads. There's a lot of films.
We're definitely going to cover Airheads for sure.
Yeah. And there's just a lot of films that he's done and they're all kind of eclectic and different. But then all of a sudden in 98, he's in one of the biggest movies kind of ever at that time. And you're like, spotlight on Steve Buscemi. He's such a interesting guy, interesting looking guy. And yeah, I just saw that Chloe Sevigny had posted something about this movie not that long ago.
Oh no, shit! That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're jumping to a couple other people that are in this film, but there's a lot of notable names that show up in this film.
Speaking of unique look, I had a thought the other day about the movies we pick. You seem to choose movies where everybody's really cool and hot and looking like Nouvelle Vogue, and I'm choosing all the movies where everybody's like schlubby and ugly and shit.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't know what that means, but it's a trend I've noticed between the movies that we pick. So
I'm classic Hollywood, so right. It's always like that.
There's
it's
a little bit more gloss
put together. Yeah, a little more gloss. Yeah,
for sure. And I like the post 70s realism of most people are scumbags. So this movie really dives into that. So
yeah, it's an interesting thing about Trees Lounge is that I was expecting it to be a little more funny because I think it's billed as like a comedy drama, but like it, I felt a little like heavier than a comedy to me. I mean, I get that there's some funny parts, but for the most part, I was like, this is seriously kind of. I don't understand what it would have been for Buscemi himself as like a real life person, but for like the character, it's Yeah, the guy's not really doing too great in life. Kind of an alcoholic, It's like I didn't
Oh no, he's
expect
straight
that.
up alcoholic. There's no
Yeah.
there's no doubt about it. He is an alcoholic that is spending just quick synopsis. Trees Lounge is the bar where Buscemi spends all of his time. He's an alcoholic. He was watching his life slip away, spending most of his time at an empty bar with mostly empty relationships and the people thereof. And that kind of dovetail into another aspect of like the movies that I love. Aside, like my two favorite specific film genres, one is creature feature. Nothing will ever beat that. But two is the drama character study, slice of life type movie, heavy on existential moments and character moments and very light on plot. And this movie is to a T that. So anything from like Alexander Payne, The Wrestler, I mean, anything in that line has always been my favorite type of movie. And it kind of makes sense why I like respond to this movie so early on because this captures so much of that.
Yeah, for sure. Like it doesn't necessarily need to go anywhere that far from the bar, It's kind of
No,
like
it doesn't. It's
everything you
all
need to
about
know.
their whatever is connected to Tommy, whether his life is on the and how much of a downward trajectory and all the interactions of his family and watching his life slip away and what he thinks he wants. And we'll get in more into that with the other characters. But there's a lot of characters that represent what his life could have been and what his life probably will be in the future.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
so but anyway, yeah, that's just a quick kind of wrap up around it. I'm excited to get into the nitty gritty of it. We can definitely start with Buscemi, but yeah, I mean, he was around for a while before this. So this is the same year as another great movie that you recently watched, Escape from LA. So that just given the context of where he was at in his career. And I remember him talking about him saying like doing Escape from LA helped me get Trees Lounge made. So that's just a beautiful.
Yeah, that makes sense because kind of
yeah.
like on paper, when you read like what this movie is about, I don't know if like well, maybe in the 90s it could have, but you kind of feel like nobody would want to make this film if it wasn't Buscemi attached to it, I guess. It kind of seems on paper it's like not that interesting. It's like, okay, a guy is an alcoholic and gets into some shenanigans with a younger girl and you know, the ending is open to interpretation. Okay.
Which is 100% my. I mean, selling it as like almost like a Bukowski type character and story. I would have imagined that would have helped at least back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I liked what Ebert had written. I read that his review was that Buscemi is kind of like to a T what like a functioning day drinker is like,
And Ebert would absolutely. He always responds well to when somebody writes a good alcoholic character because he's in his own struggles with it. So that's awesome. I didn't see that, but I know he gave it 3.5 stars. So that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like think about it, like a guy who spends his day pretty much at the bar all the time. I mean, I used to go and, hang out pretty frequently at a neighborhood bar when I was younger. And that was, we were in our 20s. So that's what we would do. We'd go every night. But like, those people that were there in the day were there at night too. And you'd see them when you go in, maybe you're picking up a food order, during the day. And it's like, they're sitting there at the bar. That is like a real deal thing. People sit there all day long at a bar and drink beers and somehow don't get fucked up.
Who gets drunk on beer? That leads to my first question. Does Trees Lounge look like a bar you would want to hang out at?
No.
Yeah, that's what I kind of noticed on this viewing. I was like, for as much as I love this movie and it's like good hangout vibe, like the bar itself, like it doesn't even look appealing to like hang out and drink at. Like you would think like for like such a hangout movie that it would like have like a somewhat romanticized version or style with the bar. I mean, it's like every scene you're like, that's like the last bar I would want to be hanging out with.
Well, maybe that's the point is that,
Right.
It's so pathetic that
Yeah.
he wants, this is his favorite bar, like that's how bad life has gotten. And there's that, of course, we'll talk about it. The barfly, this charming man, as you sent in the text message today,
Good old
that's
Bill.
been there pretty much his whole life. And, the funny thing is like, who are you going to meet when you go to this bar? And that is kind of actually, some of the characters are actually like, oh, they're just there hanging out, having a good time, and got way too drunk with these barflies. And then there's some people that are just like there permanently. It's an interesting kind of way to tell the story. Is that some people just kind of pass through, and some people live there.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Uh, yeah, I mean, we could actually just start going through some of the characters because this basically incites what the again, it's very light on plot. We basically start with Tommy and meeting with Mark Boone Jr., kind of a Christopher Nolan regular, schlubby, very notoriously schlubby guy.
Yeah.
Almost like a Tom Waits stand-in,
Yeah.
because
I thought about Tom Waits the whole time.
there is a scene when he's driving in his car and the shot is right on his face. He's lighting a cigarette and he's singing, and it's almost identical to a shot in the Jarmusch film, Down by Law, when they introduce Tom Waits in that. He's like, it's the exact same shot. He's lighting a cigarette and he's singing in a very Tom Waits way. So I'm sure that was Buscemi's nod to Down by Law for sure. So.
I was also, a little love for his favorite director, probably his favorite director. I would say that guy, say his name again.
Mark Boone Jr.
Yeah, he. I was trying to think about where I knew him from, and when you said Nolan, it just sparked. Oh, that's right, the falafel guy in fucking Batman Begins.
The falafel guy, but he's also the hotel owner in Memento, who sells him like multiple rooms. He's like, always get a receipt.
Yeah, totally. I forgot about that. It's been a while since I've seen Memento.
So he's always been a great character actor. He shows up in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, looking great there. So yeah, but yeah. So overall, I mean, and we get more into it, but like Mike kind of represents what Tommy thinks he wants with his life, but who would end up screwing it up anyway.
Yeah.
So Mike has a family. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. Moved out to the suburbs where the Trees Lounge is from the city. Thinks that that's what he wants. And the whole movie is him just kind of watching that crumble away. And that's what I love about it. It's like, this is what Tommy basically thinks he wants, like a wife and a family. And maybe he really does, but he would probably screw it up anyway and end up in the kind of the space where they both end up at the bottom either way. So
because he can see himself in these different, characters, of course. And then, we'll talk about it in a little bit because I don't want to give it away too early, but the older guy who's just there all the time is him as he will be, or is actually becoming. And I love that, if you're going to sell this movie, that's kind of the way that I think, there's this guy and he sees himself in a couple different patrons at the bar, who he wants to be, who he should have been, who he's going to be. And that's like the really interesting part about it is like all of these characters kind of have a bit of Tommy in them.
Yeah, totally. And so we see him starting a fight with Anthony LaPaglia, Rob, with Elizabeth Bracco Teresa, and they're dating. And it turns out that was Buscemi's ex-girlfriend, who they dated for 8 years, and now she's with Anthony LaPaglia. So that kind of is just like the extent of any type of plot setting up, where he's kind of he's just set up as this down and out guy, can't find a job, lost his girlfriend of 8 years to his former boss who fired him. And it's just kind of like a downward trajectory, and it plays out all at this bar, and I love it.
Yeah.
Anthony LaPaglia, I've always loved. Shows up. I mean, we're talking Empire Records, Innocent Blood. Really, I've always loved him as like a character actor, and he's like awesome in this movie. So,
yeah, I didn't really. I know you see all these guys, and it's like they're just these character actors that all the time, and I couldn't place him in any movie for whatever reason, but I knew him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I love those flashbacks where they're just kind of telling the story. Like she's watching the old wedding, or maybe it's not a wedding video, but it's like old home movies, and they're like how close everybody was and just like how fucked up it is now.
Yeah, it just really captures like his state of mind, where it's like whether or not it was actually better, he's 100% just romanticizing the past and living in torture at the moment and just drinking his life away. So maybe some high level background. So this movie has actually been noted by David Chase, the creator of Sopranos, as being one of the major influences for the Sopranos.
Like I read that, but I was like, is that for the series itself, or is that just for, the characters or the people that were in it, or is it like is it like because The Sopranos takes place and you kind of hang out and like they have that sandwich shop and stuff like that? I didn't really understand what that meant.
Vibe and casting. I mean, there's plenty of people in this
Of
movie
course.
that are in, and a couple like almost what is like we just mentioned Anthony LaPaglia. LaPaglia was originally cast as Tony Soprano and had to drop out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, it would have been very different, but he was like actually cast and like ready to like play the main character. And for whatever reason, he had to drop out. I think it was just work conflict. And so, and then you have Teresa Elizabeth Bracco. That's Lorraine Bracco's sister. Lorraine Bracco from The Sopranos. And then there's plenty of other people. Michael Imperioli.
Yeah.
A lot of small faces. Buscemi would end up being in the show and directing a bunch of the episodes. But when David Chase talks about it, and I haven't looked too deeply into it, I only heard about this actually in the last like year or two, about the influence on The Sopranos, but mostly about the vibe and the slice of life and the interactions between the characters. Just
that makes sense.
The vibe that he saw in this movie was like, that's what I want for this new show that I'm creating, The Sopranos. So it's just, I feel like this movie has gained a lot of notoriety in the last couple of years because of him pointing it out. And from what I understand, like he's talked about it like on the DVD commentaries for The Sopranos, like extensively about like framing and types of characters that he wanted to include and how much this movie was an influence. So, kind of a awesome relic in time that this movie was not really seen in the 90s and then would go on to influence one of the biggest shows of all time. So.
Yeah, totally. And also, it's weird to think of you like loving this movie so early. I hadn't really kind of skipped me for so many years. I mean, I've heard of Trees Lounge, but like there was no, I hadn't seen it up until now. And of course, Buscemi, also so prolific in the way that he could, have you ever seen Boardwalk Empire? I mean, he dips into those like early on when like TV shows were becoming like movies, like The Sopranos. It's like it looks like you're watching like a movie. Wait, this is higher level than just television. It's HBO or whatever. And Boardwalk Empire is kind of that way as well. It's like those early things. Now it's like you watch television and it's like they are movies. It's just like they're mini movies. But I felt like he was.
Yeah, I mean that TV revolution was a pretty big deal. I mean, we're old enough to remember like what most TV was like in the early 90s, and then in the early 2000s, like huge shift. Like before that, and it was.
I mean, I remember. I think the first kind of stuff was like Oz and stuff like that. Like HBO really did.
That's true. Yeah,
make those.
No small feat. Give Twin Peaks its credit. Where in the early 90s, it's like even though it wasn't like hugely successful, it was like you could make crazy weird stuff that's not formulaic and put it on and have it be a TV show on the network. So
yeah, I don't know how sometimes you get those ideas across, but I think at some point you had to have made The Elephant Man and different films that David Lynch had success with to be able to make the other stuff, right?
Totally. Seymour Cassel shows up as his uncle. I thought you'd like that. Big Cassavetes guy and Wes Anderson guy. He wasn't in A Woman Under the Influence though, right?
I can't remember.
Certainly not like a main character.
He's like a main character in
Minnie
and Moskowitz is I think the name of the movie. But yeah, he's and also awesome.
With like 30 seconds, he's already like the most charming guy. Like he's having the kids like sing the songs. He's like, oh, I love that. I love your mother's too.
Yeah, totally.
In like less than 30 seconds, he already becomes like one of the most charismatic guys in the movie. So
yeah, there's a lot of he's so great, like he's one of those guys. As soon as he aged and like got like gray hair, it was like all of a sudden he's like an old man. Yeah. But like if you see him in all those Cassavetes films, like he's a younger guy, but he's always just kind of looks like an old guy,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, definitely a silver fox for sure. So
yeah.
But he ends up having a heart attack, and that leads to the funeral where we see Chloe Sevigny, and then that ends up with Tommy taking over the ice cream truck for the neighborhood. So
yeah,
again, I just love where this movie goes because it's just so matter of fact with him just being down and out with his life and just going through the motions, and everything just winds up with him just drinking at the Trees Lounge. So
yeah, and I like he dips into like different scenarios where he's like, I'm not gonna touch like the drugs. He's always like gonna do the drugs, but then something gets in the way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that one scene where he's supposed to do cocaine in the bathroom, and he's like, I hope no one comes through that door. And then immediately someone comes through the door. And then the next time he's like doing drugs with like, who's that? It's like the actor that's always
Kevin
like
Corrigan.
yeah, he's in like a Scorsese
So good. I
film.
love Corrigan shows up everywhere. He's so fucking good all the time.
He always kind of plays that same kind of role too,
totally.
you know?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But yeah, he tries to do drugs with him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I just did your line." He's like, it's kind of like he never gets his
your dad died. You deserved it. So
yeah. You earned that one. You know?
Earned that. Yeah, he gives that great speech about just like, and it's just like so sad. It's just that he's just talking about like how much his father didn't really like him, and it's just like he didn't invite him to the card games, and even Tommy and the other guy right there that's Steve Buscemi's brother, Michael Buscemi, by the way, the guy who was with him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They can't skirt around the fact that they're being nice to him, but they're both like, yeah, he didn't really like you too much growing up. And so like,
yeah.
And that's it. That's like the end of his relationship with his father, just knowing that he didn't really like him. And it's just like, I don't know. And when you say like, this was like a more dramatic stuff like that, I don't know, maybe it's my sense of humor. That shit I find funny. It is sad,
no, totally. It's
but
funny.
The execution, that's why this whole movie, it's mostly chuckling the whole time, because those moments that seem dreary and drab, I don't know, they're played off as very funny in a tragic way. So it's that tone management that Buscemi comes off really well with it. So
yeah, I guess you're right. You know, at the same time, like I was like chuckling at stuff like that too, and obviously like
totally.
things are funny. But you're right; it is very in a tragic way. It's like everything is just like this guy is a fucking alcoholic, and you know you see him in every scene just doing things that are like completely not what normal people should be doing. Yet you're like kind of laughing along at the shit he gets into. You know. Also, Samuel L. Jackson makes a cameo.
Yeah, so good. So he's the one that's basically the harbinger for Mike's character being like, yeah, you're fucking miserable. You're not cut out for this family suburban life. So
yeah, and it's funny because it's like, yeah, you got it's like someone who has nothing, still an alcoholic. Then you have a guy who has everything, seemingly, and he's at the bar the same way.
Yeah, I mean, what these characters and what suburban life is telling you what you should have, and that's the source. You know, that's very Buddhist. Is like, it's not what you are, or it's not. Nothing's good or bad. It's what your mind thinks it wants. That's what causes the suffering. So
yeah,
love it. Yeah, Jackson's hilarious in this. Comes in hot for like 3 minutes and is one of the more charismatic parts of the movie as well with Cassel.
Yeah. Also Carol Kane.
Yeah, we did skip over. She's like the first one in the movie.
Yeah.
The bartender. So yes.
My favorite.
What an I like legend of just a voice and just her comedic performances and everything. So good.
Totally. Have you seen The Dead Don't Die?
Yes, I saw it in theaters. I only saw it the one time, and I don't even remember her in it. I'm not surprised she is in it, with being a Jarmusch film, but
yeah, well, there's that scene, and this might ring a bell because it's so fucking classically good. It's like turns into a zombie, and of course, like she's like, you know, like I don't know, a housewife or something like that, and all she keeps on saying is Chardonnay, Chardonnay.
I remember
Chardonnay.
that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So good.
That's so good. I mean, to me, she's always going to be Granny from Addams Family Values.
Yeah.
She didn't. It was a different actress in the first one, but one of the best ensemble comedies of the 90s. Addams Family Values. Every single performance in that movie is a 10, and she absolutely nails it as Granny.
Agreed. Yeah, and she's kind of like, this role isn't really like, you know, she doesn't really have any purpose other than like opening and closing the bar and kind of like making sure that, you know, underage people don't drink, but she doesn't have like much comedy in her character or anything like that. You know, it's an interesting role for her because she's not like, she kind of plays it perfectly just as the barkeep.
Buscemi gives her one moment though, when she is questioning Chloe and her friend, and she's talking to Chloe, and Chloe's giving her a story of like, oh, my friend lost her purse, or I don't have my ID or something, and she's like, you can ask my boyfriend Tommy, and or like, you can ask my boyfriend. She's like, who's your boyfriend? She says Tommy, and she just screams Tommy. Like,
yeah, that's
it
true.
goes from like 2 to 10. Like, just he gives her a chance to give that Carol Kane voice, just 0 to 10, and she just screams it, and then it just cuts from right there. So you get a small glimpse of her comedic performance of that, for sure.
That is a great moment. You're right.
I love it. So yeah, Chloe ends up tailing Tommy on the ice cream truck. So it's the two of them. A lot good chemistry between them for sure. And she's already kind of playing into this Lolita-like character. There was something I noticed on this viewing is like she's flirting with Tommy the entire movie, including the time it comes up to the scene when they're alone together. So
yeah, no, and like also just to back up a bit, this is I believe the film she did after Kids.
Sounds right.
It was like early Chloe Sevigny here.
Kids would have been 95, yeah. So
and
only a couple
right
years
off the bat, like some great films she's choosing to be in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, only a couple of years before American Psycho, actually.
Right. Which, by the way, I just watched a couple of nights ago.
You had seen it before, right?
No.
Wow. I thought maybe you told me you'd never seen it. Well, shit. I mean, that's always a movie I wanted to cover. I saw that in theaters.
I feel like sometimes you see like you feel like you've seen the whole movie because you just see so many scenes from that film all the time, you know?
It's become a heavily memed movie for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It kind of gets lumped in with Fight Club, the type of vibe that movie's going for. It's definitely been memeified quite a bit. Well, shit. I kind of want to know what you thought of American Psycho now. So,
I mean, I loved it. Yeah, it was great. But it was like it was built up so much from people, you know, like this. I loved it. I mean, there's a lot to say about it, but at the same time, like I think a little bit of the wind was taken out of the sails by it being talked about so much.
It's become too ingrained in culture that you didn't have clear eyes watching it, so.
Maybe, but of course.
Makes
terrific.
sense.
Yeah. I mean, everything was so great. Christian Bale, superstar.
It was a big deal because Leo was originally going to be in it. And then Christian Bale got cast and people didn't think it was right. And I personally still think it's like one of his best roles. So like, I
definitely think Leo now could do that role really good justice.
Yeah, but you know for a fact that movie would have been so watered down if it was him.
Maybe just because of how big of a star he is.
Exactly. You know? Exactly. Yeah. Not saying like he would have tainted it, but just him coming off of Titanic, that movie would have been a completely something that the
audiences wouldn't have wanted out of him.
Well, exactly. Well, just they would have made it into a more palatable movie for the mainstream, as opposed to the more chaotic like character study that it became. So
yeah,
but I don't know. He did The Beach, so that is almost like, which we covered, like, so that maybe it wouldn't have been as watered down. Who knows? So,
well, he also did Celebrity, which I always talk about, like his moment in Celebrity. It's just like one of my favorites. The Woody Allen film from '98.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I love it.
He didn't star in that, right?
No, I mean it's kind of like
he just shows up.
Kenneth Branagh stars in it as the Woody Allen kind of neurotic character.
I definitely haven't seen that one then. So.
Early Charlize, potentially her first film. Yeah, like might have been right the first thing he did after Titanic, and then it was The Beach, I believe.
What year was that? You said 98?
98, yeah.
Okay.
So a year after Titanic.
Okay.
Romeo and Juliet, like what, 96, right? So the same year that this film was made, Trees Lounge.
Yeah. I also forgot when we were talking about Buscemi this year, also Fargo. So 96 had Escape from LA, this movie, Trees Lounge, and Fargo. So
no fucking way.
It's a big year for Buscemi for sure. So
wow.
And I was thinking about it the other day. Fargo is still comfortably my number one Coen Brothers film, just FYI. So once we inevitably cover more, I don't know if I can
rank that yet. I have to think about that.
Yet? You haven't been thinking about it for 20 years? Your ranking?
Well, I have to say there's definitely some Coen Brothers films I haven't seen. But I love, Raising Arizona. I mean, I kind of go back to that one because that just was such a fun one that I loved like in childhood. But then, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I do like a lot of their later stuff. Like A Serious Man is
And I haven't seen.
way up there. It's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, they've only had a couple bad ones, and I mean, most everybody puts Lady Killers at the bottom, rightfully so. So with Tom Hanks, we're getting all over the place. Where were we? So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chloe Sevigny.
I don't mean to be scatterbrained. I was I love her in this. I think she's so great. It's also kind of like, as an audience member, you're kind of watching, you're like, are they going to get together? And it's like, then they do. And then you've got Danny Baldwin being the he's so good in it, as
Baldwin's show. This thing with 90s movies, it's like you almost have a 50% chance of a Baldwin just showing up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And Danny Baldwin, kind of like, the lesser known, maybe the lesser liked Baldwin also had like a stint in celebrity rehab shows and stuff like that. In fact, a little Easter egg on the Scissor song Eraser at the beginning of it, there's a moment where it's like, if someone in about an hour and a half, if someone even looks at me, I may snap. That's Danny Baldwin. We stole that from celebrity rehab.
I know the quote from the song. I never knew that was Baldwin. So yeah, that's beautiful. Baldwin.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's a little Easter egg. Yeah, but I feel like he's kind of like he's really good in this, don't you think? I mean, what did you think?
I love him, and you're right. I didn't realize. So it's another Carpenter movie that we've talked about recently. I think he's fucking awesome in Vampires. The James Woods.
Yes, yeah. It's kind of like a sympathetic character in a way, if I remember.
The two of them are together, but yes, his character, what he goes through, where he's bitten by the vampire, he treats it like shit, but ends up almost falling in love with her.
Yeah.
I've always loved that movie, but on this last rewatch when we were talking about it, over October and Halloween stuff, he was honestly one of my favorite parts of the movie. His performance is fucking fantastic in that one. So
yeah, he kind of again, I had not seen Vampires until whatever that was, October. And I've clearly not seen this film. And I'm like, oh man, Danny Baldwin kind of escaped everybody. I don't know what he's been acting in. Probably a lot of straight to, I guess it's not straight to DVD anymore, but I think a little bit more indie films these days. But yeah, he's great.
One of his last credits, most recent from 2025, is Jurassic Reborn. It's got a 2.5 on IMDb, and it looks direct to video as hell. So, and he's the star of it. So, Danny Baldwin in a Jurassic Park ripoff. I might have to watch it. So,
you definitely have to watch it
just to keep up with his recent stuff. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of mostly movies. Yeah, so a lot of direct to streaming stuff. So, still hopefully kicking ass. But he's awesome in this. He's
great in this, and you're scared. You'd be scared terrified to fuck around with Chloe.
And it's not like you never directly see it, but it's very clear that he's an abusive, physically abusive, and possibly sexually abusive to his daughter. It's never spelled out, but you definitely get a vibe from that for sure. And two of the barflies, I don't even get their name, but the old couple that are just always at the bar.
Oh right, yeah, totally. Yeah.
So it's played by Suzanne Shepherd, who I know as Karen's mother from Goodfellas, and then the guy, her husband, is
Karen.
Karen, come on,
Karen, come on, Karen.
Do you know what these people do? And her husband is played by Rockets Redglare. And I knew his face always, and I'm only just putting it together that he's the motel clerk in Big. So that's how I know him and his face in his 2 seconds. He's only
in it. Rockets Redglare.
That's the other part. He's a comedian, and his name is Rockets Redglare. So I mean, that's pretty awesome right there. But it looked like he showed up in a lot of Buscemi, Scorsese, and why am I forgetting his name? Jarmusch movies. He's in Stranger Than Paradise, shows up desperately seeking Susan, After Hours, Down by Law. So he's got a lot of cool stuff, but it always like character actor stuff. But I never put it together that was him. So
Well, I'll tell you what, man. This is chock full of people. It's 96, and as we've talked about time and time again, the 90s are like probably the best decade for movies ever.
I'm not even joking. I was literally just thinking about where we're at with movies now and how shitty they are. And I'm just grateful that we have 100 years of film going back. But I was literally thinking to myself that 90s is kind of the most chock full. It's the best decade to go back to because of how many great movies went under the radar.
Yeah.
Like there are obviously great decades to go back to, but like the amount of films that were overshadowed because everything was so good, like big budget stuff, mid-tier stuff. There was just so much that just let movies. I mean, I was thinking of Carlito's Way. That was why I was.
Yeah, and we missed it. We said the same thing. Yeah,
right. And it was like that movie wasn't like small. Like there were plenty of people who loved it and saw it, but like I didn't see it, and everybody has their blind spots. But like the 90s are just, I think it's going to be the decade that people will keep on going back to for the next 20, 30 years and rediscovering great films because of how quality from top to bottom movies were then.
Yeah, it's a good point for like, just rewatching. If you've got nothing to watch, go and watch anything that, you see that it was in the 90s, because chances are it's probably really good.
Yeah. And just generally with art and anything. But like, I mean, like I said, if there's nothing new out with movies, which is happening more and more, just watch something old that went under the radar that you missed out on, and you're going to have a better chance of seeing a better movie. So it's awesome. That's why I don't get always totally bummed out when I look at the state of quality with film these days. Speaking of like the Oscar nominations came out, and like these are the best movies, like to a degree that it's breaking records for nominations. I'm like, you're worried about movies as an art form and a medium overall, and it's looking bleak is all I'm saying. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not that you have always been the biggest proponent of watching the Oscars. I know you could give a shit about the award stuff, but at the same time, if you want to be like helpful to the industry, it's like, yeah, let's put some good movies up there, and clearly this is what they think are the good movies of the year. I mean, I've seen one battle after another, and I'm sticking with that one as my sweep.
Sure, why not? I honestly think that was the only movie that I saw out of all the Best Picture nominations. I missed Sinners. That was the biggest one, but I don't think I've seen any of the other nominations. So.
I like Sinners, but I definitely thought there was more hype to that as well. I thought that Sinners was great, but it was like, I don't know. It was hyped up pretty heavily, and I know it did really well at the box office, which is great. There were lines around the block over here at the Vista for
it. Secret Agent, Begonia, Marty Supreme, Train Dreams, Hamnet, Frankenstein, Sinners, F1, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value. First time Avatar did not get a Best Picture nomination, and I was fucking pissed.
Yeah,
because it was the best Avatar. Come on, I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, so that was the F1 slot. I guess that if F1 didn't make it in there, Avatar 3 probably would have made it in there. But
maybe people are turning against Cameron. He's been pretty opinionated in the last few years.
Oh no, the Oscars aren't political at all. So.
I heard somewhere that they were saying something about like not to show up to the Oscars with any kind of like buttons on or make any speeches. They're like telling people to like tone down the political likeness of these Oscars. I mean, has that historically ever worked? I don't think so.
No, it just annoys everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch. I've not been keeping up with it, but wasn't like the Grammys just like one jerk off fest?
I didn't watch.
I mean, all I've seen is like people like saying like most of the show is just everybody spouting off like political stances.
Yeah, so. I mean that's going to happen anytime there's somebody that's not on the left side. I think because I think kind of more so film and music and the arts leans more left, I would think, so.
Oh, I mean, that's, Yeah, to the nth degree for sure.
So anytime you have a president that's not on the left, you're going to get that, at the award shows.
Okay, more complaining at the worship. I get it. No, it never works. It just annoys the shit out of people. So, I mean, especially with like the music industry, like I don't know, it's jerking them each other off. It comes across as that, even if you agree with it. It's like, yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's a wank fest, as you would say.
So many wank fests all over this world. Please,
bring back Siskel and Ebert. Just bring back Siskel and Ebert and tell us what's good and bad. I need a little throwback.
I just watched. It was just like a 15-minute little retrospective of The Critic, which I loved when it came out. I've always loved it, but the show was so fantastic. But they showed a clip when Siskel and Ebert showed up on like all show when Jay like replaced them. They broke up, and so Jay was replacing one for the other, and Siskel like dresses him up like Ebert and gives him like a bald cap.
Incredible.
That show is so fucking ahead of its time. I loved it.
John Lovitz, right?
He's so good in it. I'm talking about like a cinephile's dream, a sitcom in the 90s.
Yeah.
Half the show was just like fake movie trailers making fun of the industry. So anyway, we're tangent heavy on this podcast about Steve Buscemi's Trees Lounge, right?
Yeah. It probably has to do with the fact that I am completely fried. But
yeah.
Also there's a lot going on in the world. So,
Is that a new Dropkick Murphys piece? It looks new to me.
Yes, that
Nice.
is. I've got two pieces. I've got a guitar that I did. I've been doing those guitars lately, and
Oh yeah, love it.
so that's done, and it's kind of has the same character. I kind of like made this up for the show. So I'm not to quote the song, but I'm shipping them off to Boston for a Dropkick Murphys art extravaganza for their shows that are coming up here. It hasn't been announced yet, but I think it will be very shortly here.
Oh yeah, love that.
Yeah,
Very exciting.
it's kind of cool. Like they had their 20th anniversary vinyl came out, and I do some work sometimes doing product photography for Epitaph Records, and I did it for that Dropkick Murphy. It's been a Dropkick Murphys like couple weeks for me because I did that for their vinyl, the photographs, and then I did the art too.
Love it.
Yeah,
It looks pristine from here. So
their new record's fucking great, by the way. If you like protesting songs,
no shit.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. All right. It's what's happening in the movie. The Buscemi and Chloe Sevigny and their friends and Mike, they all end up back together at Mike's house, and just is a shit show for everybody. This is what leads to a little makeout session between the two of them. And let me tell you something. Danny Baldwin is not happy about that.
Yeah.
He comes off absolutely terrifying when he finds out about the two of them together. So
Yeah. I mean, as well he should be. I think she's 17. Is that right?
she was only 17. Yeah.
Yeah, only 17.
Right. And it's actually played pretty well. It just, I don't know. Like it could have been played off of him being like a bigger creep, but like I said, like not to like, it's not blame or anything, but like she does have a very seductive type of vibe she's given him the entire time. So
yeah, I he's also very prime for it because he's an alcoholic and he's just basically looking for like any kind of stimulation. He's kind of down on his luck.
And here's
he
the
knows
thing.
it's wrong.
Tommy is a piece of shit. He's just really charismatic.
Yeah.
Which is just what makes always such great characters. Like he's absolutely a douchebag, 100%. But he's very charismatic, and charisma goes a long way. So
he's so good at it, in fact, that you're kind of like wondering why some of the characters are mad at him, or like why they're giving him shit. And you're like, wait, just let this guy go fucking drink in peace, But for real, like he is.
No, like he cheated. He cheated on his ex-girlfriend.
Right.
He stole money from Rob, which is why he got fired.
Right.
Like a lot of money. Like he has a shitty life mostly because of his own actions, for sure. So
Exactly.
yeah. So that's why it plays out. I mean, that's why you need somebody like Buscemi who can bring 1,000% charisma, and because that's how it becomes
I mean, I
comic
wish
and
somebody would
tragic.
go and kick the shit out of the ice cream man around here so that, like, you know, you get all this free candy and shit like that thrown on. The kids were going ape shit like when that happened. That scene is pretty, it's like, it's funny because, like, yeah, like the kids are getting this like free payday, but at like the expense of Buscemi getting his ass kicked for like fucking around with a child, basically.
Yeah,
It's like such a weird thing, you know, because at that time too, like it's still kind of funny, but it's also brutal. Like he gets like smashed on the head, you know?
yeah, totally, 100%. Mike's life falls apart. His wife, she comes back, keeps busting his balls, thinking he had the girls over, which he did. So you know that subplot kind of ends with him just running after her and probably not going to live a very happy life. And again, that's why I keep on saying, like, Mike kind of represents what Tommy wants, but would inevitably just screw up anyway as well.
Right. It would
Just like
turn
Mike
out the
did.
exact same way. Yeah.
Like Mike's living the life that Tommy wants, and he still screws it up because they're both douchebags. So.
Okay, favorite scene. Favorite scene is when he tells him, he's like, I will give you $5 if you don't have another drink. In fact, I will give you $10 if you don't do that shot. And he's like, "Oh, you think I can't not do the shot? Okay, what do you think this is or whatever?" Takes the $10, does the shot, and then Buscemi's like this. It's such a good act. It's such a funny scene and such a great scene with showing like he is absolutely an alcoholic, but also just like Buscemi's so good in that scene.
I mean, this is why he became who he was, a legend in the 90s, is because obviously not because of movies like this, but because of the aura that he had around Hollywood. And,
Yeah.
and although he made something like this, and then, like you said, he brought it to Fargo, Escape from LA, Armageddon. So, I mean, he's just too fucking, it's 25 years on. I'm 30 years on. We didn't mention it. This is actually 2026. So this is 30 years ago now. This is a 30th
Holy
anniversary.
shit.
This is a 30th anniversary podcast cover for Trees Lounge. It's crazy
Wow.
to say that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Am I doing my math right there? That actually is 30 years ago?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I failed math 3 times, but I
It's
think
not
you're right.
Well, it just sounds so
Well, Chloe
crazy.
Sevigny's 51 now. I think during the time that this was made, she was in maybe not even 20.
I mean, the math is checking out. It just, as I'm saying, that 96 was 30 years ago. Just sounds too implausible, but it was. So all I'm saying is, like, we take it for granted now of how much like a legend, you know, he's not the exact same, but like a Jeff Goldblum, where it's like his stature almost outweighs or is bigger than actual his on-screen presence. Like, like, that's
such a
Steve
character.
Buscemi. It's like he's such a legend that like it almost outshines like the fact that he was an amazing actor, and that's what made him a legend. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so Mike's ends, and then it kind of one of the last scenes is him going to his ex-girlfriend's house, the Bracco, as she has had the baby, which is still kind of unclear. It's not totally clear whether or not it might be Tommy's baby and not
Well,
Rob's.
yeah, they kind of like they dance around that, and
They do dance around
I don't
it.
think we need to know that. I think
No.
that there's a possibility. It makes it even more sad, you know.
And very sad because he's in the scene, he's in the car with Mike, and he asks him, like, is the baby is the baby his? And and Tommy says, like, no, well, she's got him thinking otherwise. It's like it totally implies that like he knows the baby's his and she's lying to him. But again, that I totally believe that Tommy is just lying to himself with that. So I don't know. You're right. It is just perfectly like you don't find out whether or not it's whose baby it is. And it's crazy to think about like what she actually knows, what that character knows, whose baby it is, and how she's playing out with Rob, though. So
yeah, crazy.
Terrifying.
But at the end of the film here, as we get into, you know, the bar seat that he happens to sit in, which is the older gentleman's spot, and it is clearly, if you didn't make the, you know, connection earlier, which I'm sure everybody who watched this film did, like, Buscemi is now that character. He's taken the place of the barfly who is just a lifer.
Good old Bill. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, Bill can barely even speak. He's such an alcoholic. He's just drunk all the time. Tommy's always taking care of him. Tommy lives above Tree's Lounge, but I think maybe Bill lives also above Tree's Lounge. Either way, he's always
Yeah,
he's
they don't
always
really say, but he just seems like he's permanently.
but he's
in that
always
seat.
like carrying him home drunk at like 3 a.m. So he's always
That's
taking
true.
care of him to make sure he gets home, which must be somewhere close.
I know. I always felt like he carried him up to his own apartment.
That's possible.
You
Just
know,
make him
yeah.
let him sit there. But yeah, and yeah, so he's at the hospital, and they have this great scene where just everybody's like, "We should go see him," and everybody's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go in a couple of minutes," and everybody's nobody's gonna go see him.
No, yeah.
And then they have the beauty. I mean, it's cliche, but I don't know how cliche. But when you have a final shot of a movie where it's just on a character's face for like 30, 40, 60 seconds, you're just watching Buscemi just dreading his life as he's like taking a sip of beer and just like looking around.
Just always like, this is what happened to me. Yeah.
It's always my favorite thing. I like, even if it is cliche, it's one of my favorite ways for a movie to end, where you're just watching the face of the character face their consequence. And like I said, that's the type with creature features, the dramatic character study, where it's like plot doesn't matter. It's just like what this character goes throughout the whole film. That's my favorite thing. So.
Top films that come to mind thinking of staying on a character even when the credits are rolling. Call Me by Your Name.
Okay.
Fucking amazing. That scene where he's just sitting there and everything's going on in the background. Yeah, and everything's going on in the background, and he had just realized he's never going to be with this guy again. Brilliant. Love that. That's the movie that made me fall in love with Chalamet, I'm sure everybody. And then Ty West doing hanging on Mia Goth, which I think he did in Pearl, at the end of Pearl. Or she basically doesn't blink and she's just like smiling and she's like,
oh yeah, she's got the crazy smile. She's got the TikTok crazy smile. She's got for the whole last minute of that. Yeah, you're right. That is a good performance. Mia Goth is pretty great. I didn't see that third one, but both those first two are
oh, you didn't see Maxine yet?
No, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna love it, dude.
I did like the first two quite a bit. So.
See Maxine as soon as you can. My favorite in the trilogy, if you ask me, but writing yourself a note to see Maxine.
No, so I actually just jumped on AI and I Googled AI movies that end with the camera on the character's face.
Oh, really?
But it's going slow, so I'm just going to test this out. Yeah, so existential crisis, Buscemi. Final thoughts on the film?
No, loved it. It's not exactly, if you're going into this for like a comedy, it's perfectly billed as a comedy drama. More so, I think, drama than comedy, but they do dance pretty well together. If you're a fan of Buscemi, absolutely run and see this because he's so great in it. And also knowing that he's so involved in it. I wonder kind of where the story came from. I do know. Is this just something he made up, or does he have like a personal experience with this?
No, I don't know personally. I mean, my guess is, as I mentioned before, kind of like a Bukowski type world. You know, I mean, this has a lot of a vibe of a Bukowski novel, like Ham on Rye specifically, or Women, or Post Office. And
like you've seen the film Barfly?
Only for the first time 2 years ago. I bought it on Blu-ray, and I fucking loved it. Mickey Rourke. I mean, I'd always known about it because I went through a big Bukowski phase in my early 20s. I've read a bunch of his books. It's awesome. His novels are fucking great.
Well, I was going to say, like, talk about like a good double feature, you know, would have been Barfly and this film, you know?
100%. And so I was always familiar with Bukowski's like experience while writing the film and just how much he hated working in Hollywood. He wrote a whole novel about how much Hollywood sucks and his experience there, just how much he hated it. But like with the movie that came out was way better than I expected based off of like what he was saying. Cause it is pretty good. It just wasn't the lifestyle that he wanted. But it was way better than I expected. And yes, this would be a killer double feature with Barfly. in Trees
Yeah.
Lounge. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, final thoughts, and I'm glad I finally saw it. And like you said, I don't think we can really go wrong lately with like movies from the 90s. I'm glad that like that's kind of carrying a theme lately with like what we've been watching with some stuff just escapes you, and Buscemi is a legend. Those really good character actors that like somehow transcend you and they can become like main characters. Like Buscemi is like the perfect character actor, but also carries a film just as well.
I love it. So happy to hear you loved it. Like I said, it's a special movie for me. Suncoast days, so bringing it back. I'll just end it. We didn't describe it, but it does have one of the best bar tricks in film history. So if you haven't seen it, Google the bar trick that he does for Debbie Mazer, and you'll use that on the next time you're at a dive bar hitting on a chick. So
good way to pick up a lady, that's for sure.
Hell yeah! All right. Well, we talked a little bit about your art, so that's exciting.
Yeah, behind the scenes, I'm just doing a lot of stuff, working on stuff. It's funny because like nowadays with AI and everything, I don't want to put any like work online. It's like people just like take it and they copy all your shit, or they like take like what you post and then they like make prints of it. And it's like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, how does anybody make any money anymore? But anyway, so I've been working on a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Thank God I got some work this month. Really busy month. Spend a little time out of LA, traveling a little bit with my girlfriend for some things. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I told you I watched a few movies. I don't know what else to say. I don't, keep my head down working.
What else are you watching? American Psycho, so that's a big one. So
yeah, and I just watched with Criterion, old
an old movie. What?
No, yeah, of course, but they just came out with like a stunts with the Road Warrior in it, and To Live and Die in LA, and a bunch, and Bullet and Face Off in it. Like, it's all about stunts, so I can't wait to watch.
90s. It was the pre-CGI where they were still doing amazing stunts, and the technology was allowing them to do it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of
not to cut you off. It was just accentuating how special the 90s was.
No, for sure. Also, we were just talking about what I've been watching. I rewatched Boogie Nights the other day. Phantom Thread, I rewatched and was better than ever. That movie is so fucking good. Okay. That's pretty much it.
Perfect segue for my physical media section. So, first one. So, the DVD that I special ordered at Suncoast of Trees Lounge, I don't know where it's at. I know I didn't get rid of it. I'm assuming I've just left it at maybe some girl's house years ago, and I just don't remember it. So whoever that is, give it back. So, but here is my VHS copy of Trees Lounge.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah. So very happy I have this. Bought this several years ago at a flea market. So very exciting. Here is the new Boogie Nights 4K Steelbook.
Ooh,
that was
beautiful.
Released just a month or two ago. So very happy about this. Actually, I haven't put it in yet, so I'm excited to rewatch it.
Does it got all the stuff, like the commentaries and stuff from the original?
I was about to say, that was the first thing I checked, and they did preserve, I don't know about all the special features from that awesome 2-disc DVD, but it does have all the commentaries on it. Awesome. So if you pick this up and you want to live like the glory days of director and cast commentaries, was always included, and they were very high quality, this is the one to do it. So sticking with PTA, finally picked up this. This was on sale over break. My Phantom Thread 4K came in. So
nice.
Yeah. I never owned it until now, so excited to rewatch this. I only saw it. I probably did watch it at home. I saw it twice in the theater, maybe once shortly after that, and I agree with you. This is top 4. This is in my top 4 PTA. It's Boogie Nights, Magnolia, There Will Be Blood, and Phantom Thread. Those are my top 4.
Does it have any kind of extra features on that, or not really? Yeah.
Not seeing it, not listed here. And that's the thing. It's just like regular studio editions just don't come with the stuff unless it's like a boutique label, like Arrow or whatnot. You just don't get a whole lot. So PTA does not do commentary at all anymore. He only did it for Boogie Nights. I mean, specifically for PTA, but like he did it for Boogie Nights. He doesn't do commentary for any of his movies, unfortunately. So
Gotcha.
he likes to keep it a mystery, but yeah, not really any making of or anything. So, but whatever.
He did a TCM sit down. He does that every once in a while where he'll talk to like Ben Mankiewicz, and I always find those interesting. He'll give a little insight. Like he was talking about VistaVision and shooting it that way for one battle after another.
Oh, yeah.
So he does do some interviews, but you're right. Like for the most part, it's not like it was back in the day.
I mean, the boutiques do go hard though. So if it's coming out on that, so dovetailing our King Kong stuff, my new Godzilla versus King Kong, the New Empire. This is the most recent one, the Steelbook. Fantastic movie. Much goofier than the King Kongs we covered, but very fun. And then my last one, I ordered this the day after our last episode. I researched the special edition, and if there was even a special edition for Carlito's Way, and Arrow released a fantastic box set.
Damn, that looks awesome.
This is maybe like 2022, so a good few years ago. This is my favorite setup for any physical media, where it's the hardcover box, and then you get a book with like essays, and then the movie itself.
Awesome.
Like there's just no better format of just like settling down with the movie, reading the essays, looking at the art, and just enjoying the physical media while you're watching the movie. So
cool, man.
And this does have a lot of good features, a couple commentaries.
And you said it's a 4K version, right?
Yep.
That looks beautiful.
Very excited for it. Again, if you listen to our Carlito's Way episode, I was gushing at just how surprised I was and how much I love that movie and where it's been all my life. And so had to remedy that and put it in the collection immediately. So
can't wait for you to experience Sean Penn and all that 4K glory.
You're a gangster now.
Yeah, gangster now. No going back. So for me, for my song pick of the week,
just one
wait, is
more.
that a Godzilla fucking PBR can?
That's why it's not old style this week. I did try January. I did try January, so this has been nice to do. But I usually have our old style, but I bought it because of Godzilla. So
wow,
good marketing.
Like, again, Mecha of Godzilla.
It does. I think that's partly the art style because it's kind of like the etch, but works as the OG or the Mecha. So yeah,
very nice, very Chicago of you to have your PBR over there. Very Midwest.
Yes. Two quick things, and then we'll get into music. Kill Bill. The Whole Bloody Affair is at the Music Box this weekend, so
gonna go see it.
I missed it when it was at like the other theaters, but I kind of had a suspicion that the Music Box was going to play it, so very excited for that. And then the best movie I saw in the theaters in the last couple of weeks, our boy Sam Raimi is back.
Yeah,
with a new horror movie, his first horror movie since one of our episodes, Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah, Drag Me to Hell. Yeah,
send help. I'll just say, absolute perfect pairing with Drag Me to Hell. Fantastic.
Oh man, I gotta see it.
We'll get more into it when you see it, but this is everything we love about Sam Raimi. You and I have been loving Sam Raimi for 30 years, and he definitely is keeping his old tricks.
Oh man, I really hope they're playing that over at the Vista. That would be fucking fantastic to catch over there.
I'd be surprised if they're not, because it is OG's Tales from the Crypt vibe throughout, and feels so good.
Fuck yeah.
Rachel McAdams is a fucking amazing actor. She's so fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. She is so fantastic with the drama.
That season of True Detective comedy too, which I think she gets like no love. That season didn't do well, but she was really great in that season.
Oh yeah, but she just is able to be perfectly comedic. Like there's a movie Game Night with Jason Bateman. She's hilarious in that. It's such a great comedy. And this movie she captures the horror comedy blend of Sam Raimi. Perfect casting. So loved her in it.
Awesome.
All right. We can get into music if you're ready for it.
Yep. I wanted to say this movie, Trees Lounge, that we're talking about today, inspired my... so we didn't really talk about it, but it's got a really fun and awesome soundtrack.
Eclectic.
And, yeah,
a lot of different
it is definitely eclectic. But I wanted to tell you the one that stood out to me was a song I had not heard of before. And so I added it to my playlist, and I've been loving it. And it's a song called it's called "I've Been Hurt" by Bill Deal and the Rondells. Have you ever heard it before? When
It's on the soundtrack though.
Yeah, when they take like Chloe and the other girl back to that guy's house to drink or whatever, they're like kind of hanging out, having fun, and that song is playing in the background. And I was like, oh, this song sounds awesome. So I did the old Shazam, and I really love it. So that's my song pick from the movie.
Is it the poppy one that they're dancing to?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Send it. It's something. Yeah, I'm hearing it in my mind now. So yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
I can see it. Good party scene. This is the creepy after hours. Just
he's like, you can do the coke random... if you want. He's like, nah, I'm good. So good.
Oh yeah. One other question. I mean, because we brought it back up. Carlito's Way was the most coked out movie that we've watched. Is this the drunkest movie that we've watched?
I have to think about that. I feel like we've seen other boozy movies, you know.
We definitely had other boozy movies, but this is the one where most people are drunk the whole time and impacting the actual events of the film. So
yeah,
it might be. Whether or not it is, it's definitely up there. So all right, I've been hurt by, what was it, and the Rondells?
Bill. Oh shit, I just closed it because that's so new to me that I have not remembered the artist. Bill Deal and the Rondells.
Bill Deal, nice. All right.
I was listening to our playlist, our jukebox playlist, on my walk yesterday. Man, is it fucking weird? It's the best.
Is this what a jukebox should be?
Yeah, I mean, it's so fucking weird.
Every song comes out of
left and my taste. It's like
every song comes out of left field when you're playing it. So
yeah,
love it. Yeah. Speaking of the music, we can't get off of it. Evan Lurie does it, and I've always wondered, and I found out that is John Lurie's brother, John Lurie from Jim Jarmusch,
Stranger Than Paradise.
Yeah. So Evan Lurie, I always saw that name. I'm like, that's got to be related to Lurie because of just the connections. So, but yeah, Evan Lurie does the score for the movie itself. So
yeah, he had that show, his brother, like where he did his art on HBO, and I think it got canceled. But he had like 2 seasons of that.
I still remember he had a show in the 90s called Fishing with John, and it was literally that. It was just him fishing.
He's such a weird dude. Classic Jarmusch guy.
I remember the opening song. It was just like this gentle little fishing with John. It was just totally like giving you the vibe of just sitting in a boat by yourself fishing. So,
just chill. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Speaking of anniversaries, so 2026 is the 25th anniversary of one of the best albums of all time, I Get Wet by Andrew W.K.
Damn.
So we can talk. I know. It's like the fact that this movie is 30 years old. I Get Wet by Andrew W.K. is 25 years old. It doesn't even compute in my fucking brain. So
I know.
It sounds crazy, but who knows? I'm grateful.
But that's a good pick, man. That album's great, you know?
Well, my pick, I'm going to show something else, but we can talk a little bit about Andrew W.K. Always loved Andrew W.K. I love that album. I had it in high school. I got a chance to see him multiple times around his 10th anniversary. I think the 10th anniversary show was here at the Metro. He was touring a lot, so I've seen him like maybe 6 or 7 times around that time. That was a couple years after that is when we had the show where you and I ran to each other, where he was singing for Marky Ramone, which was a fucking awesome show.
One of the best, yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. But back then, the energy of his shows, like you've seen like him perform? Like
Okay. Yeah, I performed alongside him, if you can believe it or not, at a thing called Strange 90s at the Metro.
I had no idea. Tell me more.
Yeah, he was there. I have a photo of it. I'll share it with you at some point if I can find it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he was super weird, very to himself.
But that's the thing with Andrew is he's almost a performance artist, and and some people have kind of critiqued him as that, almost calling him like an industry plant or whatever, and not like a true musician. He's more of a performance artist. But like whether or not his charisma, just as a person, and what everything he's been interested in is a huge reason why I've like always loved him. In addition to his music,
yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I haven't really heard too much anything new from him in a while. I'm not sure if it even exists, but I do love him.
well, the song that I will be putting on is Music is Worth Living For. This is from his 2018 album, You're Not Alone. So he's had multiple albums after I Get Wet. I Get Wet is the one everybody knows and kind of everybody should know the most because it is just a masterpiece. He had The Wolf in 2003, 55 Cadillac 29, 2009, couple double albums around 2010. And then Music is Worth Living For came out in 2018, and God is Partying came out in 2021. And this is when he kind of has comfortably veered into almost Christian rock territory. Not in a bad way at all, though. Like his positivity and the vibes that he's always had ever since the beginning, he's just really leaned into that. And that was his last album. That's the thing. 2021 is the kind of the last time that he hasn't really toured too much. He did Riot Fest around that time. He was kind of a staple for a little while. Hasn't really toured too much. His last album was over 5 years ago now. And so this is kind of 25th anniversary tribute, but also maybe this year he'll reemerge and kind of maybe go on a tour or do something. But it seems, from what I understand, he seemed to not really like the spotlight as much anymore. I know
he got remarried. I think he went through a divorce a few years ago and got remarried too.
Married the actress from Two Broke Girls and 40-Year-Old Virgin, Kat Dennings.
Yeah.
So from what and apparently like he still shows up on like her Instagram every once in a while. So he's certainly living happily, but just not doing music or touring. So
we miss him and love a guy like that, but at the same time deserves a little break if he needs to take one, because that guy parties,
Totally. And I definitely don't. And again, like I'm always the first one to say it. It's like I mean, being famous, it seems terrible. Sounds great, but I don't know. It's not like I'm a famous person, so I don't know anything about it. But like being in the spotlight seems to be a type of thing that I don't know. I personally wouldn't want, and so I could anytime anybody kind of like really like steps away from it, like I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense. So
I mean, like you said, it's always like the pain of it all is just like chasing after it, right? And it's like, I guess you could say, do you like the spotlight or not? I guess you could ask all the people that are showing up in the Epstein files lately if they are enjoying the spotlight right now.
Which I know very little about, but yeah, just that whole thing sounds bananas. So
yeah,
I believe it. People are crazy, but anyway, Music was worth living for. Off God is Parting, amazing song. So this is like a super underrated power ballad. Like it feels like the best interpretation or the best vibe of a Bill and Ted song. If the Wild Stallions like had a fucking kick-ass song, like it totally has that vibe.
Epic, huh?
It's very epic, very over the top, very power ballad. It absolutely makes me want to rewatch Bill and Ted whenever I hear it. It's in line with those last two albums. Like I said, kind of bordering on the Christian rock theme, but it still has the heavy metal and bubblegum pop vibes that he's always had. So
kick ass.
Yeah. So that's just my appreciation of an artist I've always loved, for as fun as his albums are. It's also
and lo and behold, it's the 25th anniversary.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you haven't heard I Get Wet, go listen to that first, because that is a masterpiece from start to finish. So
yeah. Awesome.
Fuck yeah. I saw a last note. I did see a New Year's Eve show with him around that time, and maybe at the Riv, and he had an audio recording counting down from 500. So you listen to his voice. It might have been fake. It probably was, but it was his voice at least. But it counted down from 500. So you sat there for 500 seconds just listening him count down from 500 down to 1 for New Year's.
That's incredible.
See, and then he at 1 he just busted on stage and gave all the energy. So it was
that's
just
like fucking true artistry right there. Make people sit through fucking a 500 count.
His energy every time I've seen him, it's a beautiful thing. So Awesome artist. So,
Yeah.
all right, that's all I got for music.
Well, as we sign off, I gotta apologize for taking the call, which I'll cut out of this episode and different. There's a lot of shit swirling around here, and I apologize if I'm a little disconnected. I had to have my phone on for that call that I took. So usually I wouldn't be distracted during our thing, but I just got to apologize for that. For the most part, I hope that we talked about Trees Lounge the way you wanted and gave it the proper spotlight, because that movie kicks fucking ass.
100%. 90s cinema. We'll probably keep it going. So,
all right, my man. Well, we'll see what happens in 2 weeks. And with my pick, it's back to me, huh?
always excited for it. So,
all right, man. Well, enjoy the 20-degree heat wave you're having over there, and I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
it's a beautiful thing. Talk to you soon, bud.
See ya. Bye.
See ya.